start to put tension on my string drawback, I was like, okay, I'm gonna swing.
It's him. You can look at the horns when he's dead. I'm in the zone. Let the arrow go. It's perfect.
So when they lose their front shoulders, you start, that's how you know it's smoking.
Went about 5-10 more yards. He probably went 20 yards. A little tip, then we would try to get back up. I saw him fall up.
We rushed 40 years rod that night. We got like 156 and something like that, and then the next day we came out to 163 even.
You're listening to the White Cat Outdoors podcast, bringing you to the table where we talk about the outdoors.
What's going on, guys? This is episode 133 of the White Cat Outdoors podcast.
Hey, you got it right this time.
I did. I sure did. It's just me and Nick hanging out tonight.
Yeah, Tom has an excused absence.
Yes.
He's doing farm work, so
Doesn't count against him. He's safe.
we'll rip on him for it, but
Yeah.
we'll allow it.
Yeah.
So today I kind of wanted to break down, well, it's actually kind of like a spin-off from last episode where we were talking about tree stand placement. And we did a little bit of talking like getting mobile areas prepped. But mainly I wanted to talk about like tree stand modifications and little bits of gear to help keep your mobile setup efficient.
Because you're all about, like, we make fun of you a lot, but you're all about changing your gear,
Modding,
using your gear in different ways, trying to figure out what you can do to make it work a little bit different. And even though we make fun of you, you do find some pretty helpful things.
I've put Tom on several different things, and just because I remember when Tom, let me start over. When I first convinced Tom to do like the whole lock on and sticks,
He was pretty against it for a while. He was
yeah.
like either permanent stand or he used the climber quite a bit.
Yeah,
he
and-
did not want to get away from the climber.
no, and he got burned in a climber one time, and then that was the turning point for him. He's like, okay, maybe
there's something about
let me just
this.
see what this is all about. And I remember when he first got started, he was complaining to me on how it took him like a half hour to get set up. And he's like, dude, I hang a stick, and then he carries one up, hangs that one, climbs back down, grabs it. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
And
it's less than, I'm probably right around like 6 minutes.
I'm under 10.
Yeah.
Easy. And that's with 4 sticks.
Yeah, 4 sticks and your
And-
stand.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm only like 2 sticks high, or if I can climb the tree, that makes a lot.
Yeah, you can get up
makes
a
it
lot
even-
quicker.
But so yeah, I just wanted to, if you're new into mobile hunting, or even if you're not new, maybe there's something I bring up tonight that you haven't been doing that'll speed you up a little bit.
One thing that you turned me on to,
Turn you on.
yeah, that turned you on, was the climbing harness instead of like a tree stand harness for ascending. It's so much quicker to use that. Like, it's so much because all the different loops that you have right at your hips to.
Well, and I've noticed a lot of newer tree stand harnesses are coming out with lineman belts, where some of the old ones I used, like the old hunter safety system vest style harnesses, they didn't have any of that on there.
Well, that's because people weren't using them in that way.
No.
You didn't need a stand that you could hook to your hips, or a rope that you could hook to your hips so you could lean off while you're hanging sticks. That's not what they were designed to do.
Yeah, at the time, like, that was back when like just ladder stands were super popular. So you just climb up the ladder, hook in, and you were done.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people use those lifelines that they would hook to as they climb up. So before that, they got real popular with putting lineman loops on your tree stand harnesses, which I know like Muddies do now. Frank and I started using like literally like a what's the Forester belt almost is what it is. They already have like lineman belts or lineman loops on them, and for years hanging tree stands, we would do the most unsafe manner possible, pretty much. I mean, I used to literally like wrap one leg around the tree.
Yeah, we did some sketchy stuff. I'm sure everybody has.
Yeah,
but.
I mean, we would,
And it takes a lot more time. In addition to it being very unsafe, it takes a long time to hang sticks, like for a permanent lock on. Without.
Well, and I think that's what turned Tom off of it so much, is he knew how much of a pain in the ass it was that
to hang sticks.
To hang stands and sticks before we like before I convinced him to try it.
Yeah, when you're not tethered to the tree, it's a real bitch to hang them.
Yeah, and now, you throw the lineman belt around, which I don't know anybody that's mobile hunting that isn't using a lineman belt.
Yeah.
If you're not, you have to.
Yeah. It slows you down so much to not have it.
Yeah. So, if you have a tree stand harness that already has 2 little loops on your hips, you're good. If not, just like I said, the like a Forester harness works great. It's kind of like a minimalist style saddle, if you will.
Yeah, basically.
But I mean, I wouldn't recommend like hanging from it like a saddle would. I mean, it'll hold you. I know that it's not like
but it's not designed to.
It's not comfortable. It's not designed for that style.
Yeah.
So definitely like a lineman belt helps a lot. And then branching off of that, depending on what setup you have, Tom was, like I said, he was not complaining, but just like, man, I hate going in mobile in the mornings because it takes so much time. So I told him what I was doing is just putting little loops with paracord off the side of your harness or your Forester belt. And then you can hang like the Versa button of your sticks through those loops. And that way you hang I usually hang my first 2 sticks from the ground.
Yeah, I always do 2 from the ground.
So I hang 2 sticks from the ground and I put 1 on each hip, stand on my back, and head up. So from the time I set up on the ground, like I don't have to come down until I'm done hunting.
Yeah, same.
Which is huge. It saves so much time climbing up and down, and it's way less noise. That's a big thing. Putting loops on your harness or whatever.
I don't hang mine on my harness. I just leave my other 2 on the stand.
So you have So I guess.
And I have those J hooks.
Yeah, talk about
Lone
that
Wolf
a little
sells.
bit. So not everybody's going to have Lone Wolf custom gear.
Yeah,
but talk about.
But you can use those J hooks on anything.
Stand,
They're long enough; they'll fit through anything. As long as your stand and sticks have holes in them, you can run a little J hook through it, and it just cinches them right down.
So talk about how you come up the tree and
basically the same way
how you do it because I know you get up the tree very quick.
Yeah, I hang my first 2, and then after my first 2 are hung, I climb up until I'm reaching where I want my 3rd stick, and I just reach onto my back, pull it off, and so my stand's on my back. I just reach back, pull it off, hang it.
Do you still have the J hooks on the stand, or are they just set into the grommets?
I loosen the J hook so it's easier to get it off. I don't have to mess with it because the rubber grommets hold them, but I don't want to. I don't want to trust just that rubber grommet to hold it, and then it'll fall off. And so I do leave the J hook on. I just loosen it up so it's easy to unhook it. And it doesn't take any extra time. And then put those 2 sticks up, and then I'm up there.
I think honestly, I'm going to say it now, so I can have the patent for it. I think instead of like a threaded J hook, they should be like a spring release.
Yeah,
so
that'd
like
be nice.
You could basically like
push it in and it holds, and then just clicks.
We'll push it down and give it like a half a turn. So like there's like it like a half turn would lock it in place, and then just a half turn the spring would pop out, and then you could push it in, pull the hook out. I mean, you're talking saving a few seconds. But it wouldn't be that hard to fashion a J hook that style.
No, not at all.
Maybe something. As much as I like tinkering with gear, maybe I'll design something and throw a spring on it.
Have some fun.
But yeah, so I use the just hook or loops with Versa buttons. Now there's a lot of 3D printing companies out there now that make little like 3D printed slots that you can hang off your belt that the Versa buttons will slide right into, and their 3D printing is pretty cheap. So they're not much, but paracord is really cheap. So whatever works for you, go for it. Paracord I like because it's like it doesn't create any more bulk. If I've got like a bunch of plastic blocks hanging off my belt, it's just more.
And plastic will make noise.
Yeah, so I like the paracord personally. I've tried bungee, and I really didn't care for the bungee. It was just almost like too much of a fiddle factor. The paracord's nice because the weight of the stick holds it in the bottom of the loop.
Yeah, it tightens it up enough to.
And then you just lift up on it and it comes right out. So that's like, I guess, the big thing for me for ascending up the tree. And then when it comes to like actual tree stand, it's tough to call them modifications, but like add-ons, if you will. I know you don't do any sort of silencing.
I do nothing.
I'm big on silencing. Like metal ting is like, I hate hearing that in the woods because
Yeah.
it's so unnatural. I would much rather have like a thud sound that just a metal ting. You will never hear that in the woods unless it's involved.
Unless
like,
it's you.
unnatural. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've used hockey tape, I've used stealth strips, and I've used the Lone Wolf Custom Gear Slayer tape. All of them work. I think that my biggest issue with like the hockey tape is it doesn't seem to last more than
It probably
a
like
season
starts
for me.
fraying a lot.
Yeah, it's by far your cheapest option, but I think for a reason. I literally, like, when I first started, I was reapplying hockey tape every year. For whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to hold up nearly as well. And then I used stealth strips for a little while, and what I didn't like about stealth strips is they're like a felt material, so they're really good about keeping it quiet and everything, but
Does it hold moisture?
yes,
Okay.
that's the only issue I have with it. And not that it like creates like any like musty or anything, but I noticed it almost loses some of its like grip ability when it holds moisture. So like if I've got it on my sticks and I'm hanging a stand in the rain, I notice that it's like literally it's like more slippery than just like bare metal.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that. So now I use Slayer tape, which it's like it's similar to stealth strips, but it's like a rubberized. It's weird to explain. It's almost like moleskin ish, but it doesn't hold any moisture or water, so it stays super grippy all the time. And the glue on this tape is insane. Like wherever you want it, I hope that's the last place you want it because it literally will peel. Like the glue is going to stay. Like you're gonna have to use Goo Gone or something to pull it off.
Yeah.
So I run, the Lone Wolf Custom Gear. Actually, I switched to the .75 this year, which, I mean, they're all pretty much the same configuration. But,
Yeah.
I silence the spot where the pack frame locks into the frame. I just put a little bit of Slayer tape on each of the tabs. So then there's no noise going in. And then where the beam, like the post,
The upright, yeah.
the upright or the post or whatever, wherever that's going to contact the platform, I put a little bit of Slayer tape there, and that's any stand.
Yeah.
When you fold them down, there's going to be metal to metal contact somewhere, and because a lot of guys I see that they put stealth strips or Slayer tape or whatever on the platform. I've done that in the past, and I feel like I wear it out with my boots really fast.
I was going to say, I'm sure you completely destroy it almost immediately because you have that hard metal and then your boots are on it. It's not going to hold up. Even if it's good stuff, it's not going to hold up if you're grinding your boots on it all the time.
Yeah. So I put it on the post. And in the past, I always used to put some sort of deadening material, hockey tape or Slayer tape, whatever, around the top of the perimeter of my stand because that's like the main place where your beam's going to hit. But I noticed that I was just chewing through it in one season with my boots. So this year I decided to try the paracord wrap on the front of the platform. I didn't do the whole perimeter, just like
where your feet are.
Yeah, where my feet are going to be.
It looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You didn't just like wrap it. You tied it up nice.
Yeah. So like I've seen actually it was Garrett Prawl from he's the DIY Sportsman, and he had a video he posted a long time. I feel like it's like 6 years or something like that. It was a while ago, about doing a Cobra weave on his platform, and because like the first time I thought about doing paracord, I was thinking of like just wrapping it and then like putting like a spray adhesive or something, but I was worried of it like unraveling and. Then because I've seen like the Cobra weave before and I'm like, man, that looks like it takes a lot of time and I'm constantly buying and selling gear and I just like hated the idea of spending all that time just to sell it in a season.
Yeah.
But after getting this stand, I know that I don't think I've said it on here, but like I made the same comparison with the bow. When I got my most recent bow, it felt like my first bow. So I know that I'm going to hold on to it for a really long time. Cause like that's the whole idea with me playing with gear is like trying to find the perfect setup to where I never have to buy another piece of gear. And this stand is that for me. This is going to be the last stand I buy, like lock on. I mean, saddle stuff maybe, but most of my hunting is done out of a lock on and I don't see myself ever getting rid of this one. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to try the paracord.
Do it up.
And it's actually really simple, but it is very time consuming.
Yeah, you texted or you sent me a Snapchat and that you were just getting started. You had like 3 wraps on it. And then it was like 3 hours later, you sent me another one. I was like, wow, that is taking forever.
Yeah, and that was constant. I didn't stop. Like, it was just going. And because I've never done it before, I was very meticulous.
Yeah.
And I'm super OCD, so I wanted like the spacing and everything perfect on it. But I ended up doing the whole thing, and I think it's going to hold up really well. Paracord's good stuff. I don't see it getting destroyed after a season. And I know several guys that I'm not the first guy to do paracord. So it is very simple. So don't get intimidated by it. Just block out a couple hours if it's your first time. So that's like my main thing for like silencing. And then in more recent, probably the last 2 years, I've wanted to get to a point where I don't have to. I hate doing screw-ins, like screw-in bow hangers, backpack holders, all that crap when I get in the tree. Because I don't know how many times I've had hunts that happened right as soon as you get in the tree. I've shot deer right as soon as I got in. I've missed more opportunities at deer right when I got in because I was still setting up. And I know you've had similar occurrences where, I know your dad too.
Yeah, you get in and it's instant. The deer's on you as soon as you're up.
Exactly. So I hated the idea of getting up a tree, trying to do a screw-in bow hanger, and if you're in, a white oak, it is a pain in the ass to get a screw-in into it because they're just so hard. And you usually want to put, like for me anyway, my bow hook is always way above my head.
Yeah, same. You're kind of, and I usually kind of like go just around, depending on how big the tree is. It's like kind of just around.
So it's a pain in the ass.
It's tough to reach it.
And your strength is like gone when you reach up that high.
Fully extended.
So it's just something, easy.
Another thing, just interrupt you. My dad was doing that one time. This was years and years ago in a climber, and he was like kind of bouncing a little bit with his climber, just trying to get it screwed in. And as he was bouncing, it loosened up and he fell out of the tree. It like unhooked. It didn't like completely unhook the strap, but it lost tension on the teeth in the strap and it slid all the way down.
Oof.
I was like, wow, that's great.
Yeah. So
good way to start the hunt.
Yeah. So I hate any like additional setup like that. Now I get sometimes like I like to film, so like that's a necessary.
Sometimes there's no way around it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's an added thing for me. You know, but for like hanging my bow and my backpack, all that stuff, I hated the idea of having to screw into the tree. So I added last year. I bought that the wolf pack, I guess, and the big thing that sold it for me was the tree stand or like the tree strap in the backpack. Now I'm sure you could rig it up on. Now that I've seen it, I'm sure I could rig it up on any backpack. Yeah. But
I always use a fanny pack, not a backpack. So it's basically the same thing. That's what I always do. I just hook it right to the tree. I throw it around and tighten it right on the tree.
Yeah. So I don't think personally, with everything I carry in like camera, all that stuff, a fanny pack. I'm sure they probably make bigger fanny packs.
Yeah, mine's bigger.
But with most backpacks, typically I would end up having to screw in a little bow hanger, hang it from that. But now, literally, as soon as I get up in the tree, it deploys out the back, hook it around, and it's literally like you said, like a fanny pack. Tighten it down, takes literally 2 seconds. And then the last thing for my bow, I got away from all bow hangers. I want something that's attached to my platform all the time. And I've been playing around with different ones over the last couple of years. And I think I'm going to end up... I've used the third hand bow holder. I've used the... I'm trying to think what brand it is. It's like Catskills something. But it's called the Sidekick. Or the Quick... It's not the Sidekick. Quick Draw bow holder. And then the Lone Wolf Custom Gear, the Sidekick bow holder. I've used all three. And then I've also used like the in-platform bow holders on both stands, which I'm not a big fan of.
I don't care for those.
It puts it right in the
between
middle,
your legs,
and especially for somebody like Frank who stands.
I can't use.
It's pretty much unusable. So I wanted something that I could attach to the platform that's low profile, and it's kind of a tie between the Sidekick from Lone Wolf which I really like because it spins out of the way, stays super tight to the stand, and it's always attached to the stand. So as soon as I get up in the tree, I pull my bow up, slap it in there, and it's done. The other thing there is that the quick draw bow holder. Now that one it's pretty much a tie. It depends on what style you like, but the quick draw basically takes a bracket that goes behind your stabilizer, and it's like a pin that goes straight down, and then on the side of your stand you put this little bracket that is like a slot that's just big enough to fit that bracket in, and then it's already silenced with like a shrink tube or something, and literally it just sets straight down into it. So basically quick draw, you just pick it straight up and it's ready to rip. So I really like that configuration, and that's like the quick draw is like $30, and the Sidekick from Lone Wolf is like $45. So like they're pretty comparable in price. I think the third hand bow holder is a little bit cheaper, but my biggest problem with that is it's super bulky. It's like this. It looks like a giant tuning fork basically. But it's stationary wherever you put it. It's out there. It sticks 3-4 inches past the platform, so I'm not a big fan. So that's what I really like for the bow, and that's really it for
stand attachments.
Stand attachments, yeah. I do like having a little pack underneath my seat because I'm a sitter. Frank, I know you like to stand.
I stand the whole time.
So I like to keep. Actually, I just use like a trophy line pack. It's like I think they're like $15 or $20, but they sell them on Amazon for the same price. But I just have it clipped to the bottom of the seat, and then it basically just hangs straight down when I'm sitting. So like if I just leave it open, my rangefinder, cell phone, grunt tube, whatever I want is literally tucked right between my legs. So like I don't have to reach around to my backpack or anything. Just makes everything super accessible. Which I really like. Less movement, turning around, digging in a big backpack for one little thing. I can look down and everything is right there.
I always wear hoodies, and I always keep my grunt tube around my neck, on a lanyard, but everything else, which I don't like have anything really else.
I don't like having my grunt tube around my neck.
Why?
I'm afraid it's like. Because if I'm wearing a hoodie, I'm afraid of it like getting caught in my bowstring or something.
Well, I don't leave it just flopping out to catch my bowstring.
I guess you could tuck
it
I
wear bibs all the time too.
Oh, that's true.
So I can have it in my bibs without it being like really constricted inside of a hoodie.
So you wear your bibs on the outside of?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, see, I don't. Mine's underneath.
Well, it depends. Like in late season, I'll wear them under because they work better that way.
Yeah, because then your skin isn't exposed when you.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't work.
Well, it wouldn't be exposed anyway, but it just
scratch that.
Yeah. But if I'm not worried about keeping that warm, like I'm going to be warm enough without the full containment of the bibs, then I just don't. I could mostly for that reason. If I have something around my neck, it's easy to get at and it's not going to be flopping around everywhere.
I guess it has maybe for me because I don't really grunt much at all.
I don't either, but still, I like to have it.
Feels like you're hunting when you have grunt tube around your neck. I get it.
Yeah, just get you in the mindset.
Yeah, I usually just have mine in my pack, right, like I said, right between my legs, because I will only grunt if I see the buck I'm after, or not. I guess not the buck I'm after. If I see a buck I want to shoot that doesn't look like he's going to come to me, that's the only time I'll grunt. So I don't like it around my neck. I used to have a bow or a binocular harness that I wore while hunting, and I don't like having anything in front of me really.
Yeah,
it's just one more thing I'm thinking about, and scratch that. Don't like it.
Yeah.
I think that's really it. I don't do any like crazy modifications. I don't like cut stands apart or anything like that.
Some people get real wild.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a video. A guy like bought like a brand new Novix and just like chopped the front off. You can do whatever you want. It's probably gonna void the warranty.
Yeah, I would.
But
certainly think it voids the warranty.
I guess that's probably the easiest way to put it. I don't do anything to my stand that would void a warranty.
Yeah.
I don't cut anything. I just like to make sure it's silenced.
And usually they're made in a way that they have like some structural integrity. The way they are designed, and if you start cutting it, you might be compromising how that stand is made, what it's rated
usually
for.
a
It's rated for
reason
300 pounds. It's rated for 300 pounds the way it's built,
Yeah.
not after you hack it up.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people don't really think of that. They just
It's
it'll
metal.
probably
It's
be
good.
enough. Yeah. So I guess do what you want, but do it at your own risk.
Yeah.
Don't be upset if it ruins it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when you spend that kind of money on a tree stand,
Yeah,
the
right? Like,
idea
why
of
would you
cutting it-
spend that much money just to, all right, let's take the Sawzall to it?
Yeah, well, that's it. I remember. So I bought one of the ambush platforms, the saddle platform, when they first got released, and I put it up in the tree, and if it was like a soft bark tree, it was fine, but any hard bark tree, it would click, like when you shifted your weight side to
Really?
side, and I put a 45-degree angle on the teeth because it was 3/4 of an inch thick, and the teeth didn't have any sort of angle, so like. There wasn't like a point on the teeth. It was like 3/4 of an inch thick.
They were just like square.
They were cut out but square.
Okay.
And I came up with that was the reason it was clicking, because every tree stand I've ever hunted that like is
They're either
cast or
thin
water
teeth
jet,
or they have an angle.
yeah. So I'm like, well, this doesn't have that. I wonder if that's the issue. So it took a lot out of me to take a grinder to it.
I couldn't do it.
But I did it, and it was exactly what I wanted. It was perfect. And it wasn't long after that. Actually, I think I talked to Andre about it, and it wasn't long after that they're now machined out. So I had to take a grinder to mine, but now if you buy one, I'll set.
You don't have to take a grinder to yours.
Yeah, and I actually just took a Sharpie marker and covered up where it was shiny, and that lasted like about a season. But then after that, I took, just to test it, I used leather dye. And because aluminum's porous, like
Soaks up.
Yeah, it actually soaks it up, and it's been like that for like 2 years. And
Nice.
it's not the same color as the platform, but at least it's not.
It's not shiny.
Yeah, which it's up against the tree.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a difference, but it makes a difference to you.
Yeah, when I'm in the stand, I don't want to see shiny metal.
Yeah.
So
Has nothing to do with the hunting aspect. It's just what you want.
yeah, look good, feel good.
Exactly. Look good, hunt good.
That's right. Yeah, it kind of all comes back to the confidence thing we've talked about many times on here. It's, whatever makes you feel confident. If you want your bow hung up in the tree, then deal with screwing them in. I think they actually make some that are strapped on.
Yeah, which I feel like that would take even more time. Maybe not. I don't know. Depends on how it's made.
Yeah, I've never looked into them. Like I said, I like mine that's already on the platform because I've been busted by 2 that I can think of, bucks that I would have shot had I been set up.
Yeah.
And it kills me to think that
if you would have had one little thing,
yeah,
it would have went totally different.
So that's just for me. And if there's anything out there you guys are doing that you think keeps you guys efficient, speeds up the process, let us know.
Most people don't they'll notice something that is either impeding them or they don't like, and they don't do anything to fix it. Like, you are always doing different things. And I try different things all the time to see what works a little bit better, what might make this go a little smoother. Where some people are just like, shit, I wish it was different. And then they just live with it. Like, no, just try different shit.
I've literally,
even if it has nothing to what you're trying isn't made for hunting, try it. If you think it might work, even if it's not a hunting apparatus, use it with your stand. It might work just fine.
Yeah, I've probably hung my stand over 24 times this summer already, just tweaking. And I've been hunting with a lock on for a long time, and I still all summer long, because hunting that's my hobby. That's all. I don't fish. I used to enjoy wrenching on motors and stuff. I don't do that anymore. Hunting is what I do. That's my hobby. So all summer long, if I got an hour after work, I just go hang a stand. And I've got a little bit of woods by my house, so I'll just pick different trees. Trees that I even wouldn't typically hunt out of, because they're super wonky or whatever. I just want to see what the stand's capable of. Yeah. And see how
efficiently you can get up a not ideal tree, because you never know when that tree is going to be the spot you want to be in.
Yeah, especially hard leaning trees. I learned the hard way. The first time trying to climb a tree, right on the edge of a field, there was a poplar tree that had a serious lean to it. And I had a hell of a time getting up it because my weight, like the way where I had to climb from, it was like I had to climb on like the side to where it was, I was climbing at an angle, and the weight of my body wanted to keep swinging me underneath, so I ended up having to shift, so I was climbing, so it was almost like
walking up a ramp.
Yeah, walking up a ramp, exactly. And you know, I don't want the first time experiencing something like that to be when I'm trying to get set up in the woods.
Yeah.
To like actually hunt. So now I just screw around different trees and play around with it, and I enjoy it. Like it's not like it's not a chore to me. I just
you're going
screwing
out
around.
having fun. It's something.
Yeah.
And it helps your success later.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's the plan.
Actually, I killed a deer out of that stand or out of that exact tree last year. Was the one I had an issue with. So
perfect.
Yeah, I actually the last year. So it was 2 years ago I had the issue with it. Last year I hung in that stand like in the summertime like 6 times, climbed up it, got situated like okay I like this, and I climbed down. You know, go back like a week later, start and just
try something different.
Yeah, every time I'd go out to the farm, I'd just go up that because it's right on the edge of the field, so it was like super quick to get to. And then last year climbed up it, boom,
done deal.
Yeah, so works for me. Like I said, if you guys have any other little things you guys like to do, shoot us a message, let us know, because I'm always interested to try something new out. So I guess before I close this out, I do want to bring up with the lineman belt, most of them come standard with a Prusik knot. I've switched to a Ropeman Ascender, which is basically a mechanical version of a Prusik knot. So much smoother. Sorry. It's just. Do you have is yours just have like a Prusik?
No, I have. I saw what you had. I was like, yeah, I need that.
So a Prusik knot, they and the Ropeman do the exact same thing, but a Prusik knot, because it's your weight is what tightens it down. When you come off of it, it's still tight, and it takes it takes both hands to loosen it up if you need to.
Yeah. Where
the Ropeman, it's literally just pull the rope or pull the pin and it loosens. Like it's so much more efficient. So if you're looking at, if you got a little bit of money to spend on your setup this year, I would say spend the money on a Ropeman and then get some paracord.
Yeah. You can always use paracord.
Yeah.
Most people have it lying around anyway because you're always having bow ropes and shit.
Well, I bought, to do the front of my platform, I bought 100 foot of it for under $10.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Very cheap. It comes all, if you want to make it all fancy colors or whatever, do a rainbow on there. I don't care.
Yeah. Pride Month just ended. So.
Yeah, I guess, well, you're going to have to take it off. But I guess on that note, thanks for tuning in for 133 episodes now. Deer season's right around the corner, so make sure your guys' gear is ready to go and you're all still getting outside.